to check out Simply Stated. There's some interesting artist work tonight, and we'd like to introduce you to Soraida Martinez, who has traveled quite a ways to come and visit you this evening and to give you a little bit of insight into her work. So without further ado, I'd like to let Soraida discuss with you some of her ideas and the meaning of Verdadism.
Okay. Well, I would like to start off by thanking Jamie and Jan for inviting me here today. The art of Verdadism is based on my personal life experiences and my observation on humanity. I tell the story of my struggles with life in America, including my experiences with racism, sexism, and stereotyping. As a woman, I'm always striving to make a difference and to be heard. Ever since I was a little girl in Harlem, I had this intense desire to communicate with the world through my art. My Verdadism is a direct response to a society I live in, which never expected much of me. My hope is through Verdadism, I can create some kind of social change. Now, I created Verdadism in 1992. The meaning of Verdadism, the way I came up with the word Verdadism is the root word for Verdad, which is, it means truth. And then the suffix word, which is the English suffix word for theory. So I combined these two words to describe my art. And in brief, it means to empower yourself with your own truth and go for it. Now, by Verdadism, the actual painting, every painting has a social commentary. And the commentaries are based on what I'm thinking at the time. So it's an actual snapshot of my thought during a time that I'm painting something and I want to describe and bring up an issue that I think is relevant, that I should bring up. Now, I would like to let you, read some of the titles of my paintings, of my earlier works. This way it gives you a little idea of what I've written about and the commentaries that I have made and the paintings. What Prejudice looks like. I did this painting in 1993. And the reason why I did the painting is because I wanted to put a feeling in a visual language where kids could understand what it's like to be prejudiced. So I wanted to create a dialogue between kids to talk about racism. And I did that in '93 and brought it out to the school system, and it was an easy way to bring up an issue in the United States that's really hard to talk about without having people fight about it. So it's a friendly way to bring it up, and art is very friendly. So going on, the painting Between Two Islands, I did that in 1996, and it's a painting about me being born in New York City, and first generation, and I felt that being in New York, I felt like I was like a foreigner and no one accepted me. So when I was a kid, my mother always used to tell me, well, I'm gonna take you to Puerto Rico and you'll see where you belong and you'll be accepted. But when I went to Puerto Rico, what I found out was that they didn't accept me either. So I was like a New York Rican to them. And that's why I call it Between Two Islands, between Manhattan Island and between Puerto Rico. So I was in between these two cultures that I felt like I didn't, I had a culture of my own. Self-Effacing Woman, 1993. It's about women that actually, they go to college and they get educated and they have a dream and then they end up like getting married and then never really fulfilling their dreams. Like they take on a different persona where they help men, to become like, I know some people like, they help their husbands become big lawyers and they wanted to be lawyers themselves, but they just took the mom role and they just went back and became self-effacing. Please stop calling us minorities. We all know that's an unfair label with negative connotations. Now, I feel that in this society we have like buzzwords, and minority is a buzzword, and it takes out a connotation that you're less of, and kids pick it up in the school system. When you say these are the minority kids, and if you ask them, they say, well, I've asked kids like third graders, like, what do you think the word means when they call you minority? What do you think that means? And a lot of kids say, well, that means that we're not as good as everybody else. So I believe that, you know, these buzzwords need to be taken out of the school system and really out of society if we want our kids to advance and think that, you know, not put a label on them where they're gonna stop them, you know, from the beginning, especially at, you know, in the third grade. Woman on a String is a painting about, and it's a 1992 painting, and so it's a painting where there's a woman hanging from a string, because I felt that I actually started a business in 1986, and I felt that I had to hang from a string in order to survive, because it was really male dominated, and it was an art and design studio, but I had to do so many things just to actually get paid or just to be seen. And I still feel that we still, I thought that we progressed, you know, I looked at the painting and I thought that we were not like, the society was not like that anymore, but I feel that we went back 50 years, and I think that we have to deal with that. And I mainly think that women did it to themselves too, because they're not really looking at the whole overall, you know, situation in our economy and the overall situation in America. They're thinking just, you know, something that's not, you know, they're thinking for them, you know, of themselves. But we as women, we should always think to empower every woman, not just ourselves. You know, if you don't empower one woman, you're not empowering yourself, because we need to empower our gender, really. Puerto Rican stereotype, the way you see me without looking at me, is a satirical painting, and it's actually just, it's very linear, and my paintings are hard edge abstraction. And it's a painting about just a woman. It's a stereotype of what I was told when I went out in corporate America. A lot of people never met a Latina, you know, and I'm talking about, we're back in 1986. When I went out in corporate America, I saw that there wasn't a lot of women leaders, and especially Latinos in general. So they took, you know, I got to be friends with people, and they actually told me what they thought that a Puerto Rican woman would be like, and it was satirical, it was funny, and you know, so I had to do a painting about that. And I took it, you know, I didn't take it so, they were nice people, but they were nice enough to tell me what, you know, society thought of that. Well, I just want to talk, I mean, I brought these issues out, and what I did was I put them out mostly in academia, and I saw that there was people, actually, I didn't know if people were hearing it. I talked in schools and all that, and what I saw was a lot of educators were interested in what I was talking about, because they felt that we needed to talk about these issues. And this was way back, and the issues that I've been talking about are out here right now, still right now is happening. It's just harder, bigger now. I mean, I saw that it was underground before, but now it's out in the public, you know, you can see it. Now, I'm open to any questions about Verdadism. If you have any questions about the art or the style or the commentaries, you're welcome. Jan?
I would like for you to share a little bit about disbelief. This painting to your right.
Okay, yeah, this painting is about disbelief. It's the painting about the fact that where when I heard that 53% of women in the United States voted for a president that was so sexist and so racist that I just was in disbelief. I couldn't believe it. And these women, they were friends of mine, and I was saying they're educated, some of them are business owners, and they didn't care whether Donald Trump was a racist or a sexist. They felt that he was the person that was gonna make society better. And I think that that's gonna set us back like 50 years. We're going back, you know? And I couldn't I had to do a painting just disbelief because that's how I felt.
Thank you.
Okay, any more questions?
I wanted you to comment a little more about what you said about minorities being shouldn't be part of the lexicon that the society.
Well, it's the actual label of minority is. I mean, at the beginning it was to me that there's less of us, you know, so we're the minority people. But in many places in the population, we're like the majority. So, and we're still being called minorities. And women are labeled minorities too. This actual government thinks of them like minorities, and we make over 50% of the population. So that's what the word, I mean, I think that the word has a bad connotation, and we just need to stop labeling people. Did that answer your question? Any more questions?
So speak to a little bit about the universities and how your program, what you're doing is being, the universities are really engaging with you and your upcoming, how you've been chosen as one of the top.
Yeah, a lot of the universities I do shows and I talk about the social issues. Some of the actual professors have written books about certain issues that I have painted about, and they've used my paintings on book covers. And they're teaching diversity through Verdadism, because like I said, it's a friendly way of teaching kids, because you're not really pointing fingers, you're like talking and asking them what you think, and everybody feels comfortable about it. And it doesn't alienate people, so art is like a really good medium to actually show a society, or maybe like put a mirror in front of society. I'm doing an actual exhibition. I mean, I'm going to be doing a mural at the Women's Museum, and it's going to be a Verdadism mural, and that's going to be in the spring, and it's going to be a large mural. I have not worked out what it is, but they want me to actually incorporate Verdadism and truth and with women in the United States, how we progress and how we haven't progressed. So they want the realism of what's happening right now. They want to document it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Okay. Any more questions before? Okay, so thank you for having me here. You know,
Thanks. Before we wrap up, I'd just like to let you know we do have a couple of catalog books that show some of the older work that Soraida was referring to. So if you're interested in looking at a particular piece that she might have mentioned, we'll have an image of it in the office.
And there's
the
one other
books.
thing I'd like to share as well, and that is that we have two artists here in the house this evening. One is Jessica Shea. And then also Judy C., who is here. Her works are in our offices, and you know, who's not present is Antonio Guerrero. He will be here, you know, within say a month to 6 weeks, and so we're looking forward to bringing you all back to have another artist talk with this one particular artist. So we thank you for being here this evening. Thank you.